Talk now to TRT World's Turkey analyst, Yusuf Erim. We have two diametrically opposing views here, don't we, on what happens next in this operation. Turkey's stated plan on its advance into Manbij, and the US saying, as we heard earlier, they won't leave the area until their operation is completed.
Well, we saw Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu request that U.S. troops back away from Manbij, which is a very reasonable request, as President Erdogan has signaled that the operation is going to move forward into the Manbij region. Now, this is a very important region that has strategically been a staging point for many YPG attacks, and its has incredible logistic importance. And from the Army spokesman in the area, Colonel Dillon, we see that the U.S. has refused to move out, that they're going to stay there while the operation is going to go down. Now, we see this divide growing deeper and deeper. It's turned into a fissure, actually, between the U.S. and Turkey. And one could say that maybe the U.S. doesn't fully understand who the YPG is, but we've seen many statements come out of Washington from former Secretary of Defense Ash Carter, from Senator Lindsey Graham, from Raymond Thomas at U.S. Special Command, that Washington fully understands who the YPG is. It's just another name for the PKK. And despite repeated statements from the U.S. saying that we recognize Turkey's legitimate security concerns, their actions are not corresponding with these statements.
The US will say it's entirely focused on defeating Daesh, a strategy that perhaps you might understand.
Defeating Daesh is very, very important, and the U.S. is very focused on that. But unfortunately, their focus on just defeating Daesh has taken the concentration away from the bigger picture, which is creating a new Syria. Now, there's a lot of YPG propaganda and a lot of misinformation that paints the YPG in a picture like it's some mystical force that's the only force that can defeat Daesh. And this is completely untrue. The Turkish military has stated that Operation Olive Branch is not just an operation directed towards the YPG, but it's also an operation to clear the Afrin region and other regions from terrorism. And the FSA, the Free Syrian Army, has been a very successful unit against Daesh. They've been fighting against Daesh since 2014, a year before the U.S. coalition, 2 years before Russian intervention. They've been successful at beating them in Idlib. They've been successful at beating them in Azaz. The Azaz battle against Daesh was actually a very hard-fought battle because while the battle was going on, the YPG actually opened a second front against them, and they had to fight the YPG and Daesh simultaneously.
A quick thought on the Sochi peace talks, which are to get underway tomorrow. What prospects?
Well, the Sochi peace talks, or the Syrian National Dialogue by its other name, is a round of peace talks that's aimed at creating a new constitution for a new Syria. Now, we have the Turkish side guaranteeing the opposition, which has just announced that they're backing out of this round of talks. And we have the Russians and the Iranians guaranteeing the regime. Now, Turkey's very critical to this process because it's representing the opposition. Even though the opposition will not be there, their interests will still be represented with the Turkish diplomats who are going to be attending. And we're going to have to see how effective these first round of talks for the Syrian National Dialogue are going to be.
Yusuf Erim, thank you very much.
Thank you.